Hi folks, kind of an interesting recording here. Of course, this is the first dog label for Victor. This is 19.2. This is a very, very thick record, if I can show you how thick this is. It's pretty amazingly thick. Most Victor records aren't quite this thick. This is almost twice as thick as most Victor records. And there's a reason for it. First off, it wasn't made at the Victor factory. It was made, you'll see here on the label, a B, made by the Burt Company. And the Burt Company, of course, is the mother company to the Globe Record Company that was making the Climax records for Columbia. And, of course, would make the Columbia records afterwards. So it's kind of interesting that Victor was having many of its records pressed at Burt, while Columbia was having them pressed at Burt. There must have been so much going on behind the scenes there, and so many industrial spies. I bet it must have been a fascinating period of time. Of course, also, around that period of time, Zonophone was also being pressed by the Burt Company. So all the companies converged. And, of course, Victor had its own pressing plant. They also used the Doranoid Company in Newark, New Jersey. And plus they used, of course, their plants in Camden. So this is kind of an unusual Burt record, as I mentioned. And also, this is Nearer My God to Thee, sung by the Haydn Quartet, and quite loudly announced by, what was his name, William Hooley, who was the bass of that quartet. This song took on a whole new proportion after September of 1901, because that was the last words of William McKinley. You know, he said, "Nearer my God to thee." That was one of the last things that he said. And of course, everything dealing with the funeral of McKinley, of course, dealt with "Nearer my God to thee," which started a frenzy of recordings being released of this piece of music. So here we have, most probably from 1902. I didn't look it up, so I apologize if my date is wrong. I'll change it if I find it's wrong, but I'm thinking it's right around 1902. It's pre any of the information with a serial system, which of course wouldn't start until 1903, and of course this label is a 1902 label. So, without further ado, Nearer My God to Thee, made famous through the death of President William McKinley, our 25th president in the United States. Interestingly enough, another decade would go by, and this piece would have another resurgence, and that was with the sinking of the Titanic, and Nearer My God to Thee came out in droves again. So let us go without further ado and listen to Nearer My God to Thee. I guess it would always help if I had a needle. I remembered everything but the needle, so the needle is going in. And now, here we go, with Nearer My God to Thee.
Nearer My God to Thee, by the Haydn Quartet. Nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee, in glory across that praiseth me. Till all my song shall be nearer, my God, to